Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 20th episode of the Exploring Antinatalism Podcast, a podcast all about the subject of antinatalism created by anti-natalists. My name is Amanda Oldfan-Sukanik, also known as Foreverwolf Films on YouTube, and today I'm speaking with Andrew Patches Huff and Colby Rogers of the Texas-based brutal death metal band Astyanax, who will soon be releasing their new album, Extreme Anti-natalist Design. So welcome, Andrew. Welcome, Colby, to Exploring Antinatalism. I'm very excited to get a chance to speak with you about Astyanax today.
Happy to be here.
It's really
this is really cool. I never thought I would have quite this opportunity of this, subject matter of podcast. So pretty cool.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I'm always excited to see new artists, working with the subject in all different kinds of mediums. So I was really, really excited when I, saw the video about your new song and saw the name of the album, and I'm like, I got to get these guys on the podcast. Got to see what they're all about. So welcome. So who am I speaking to right now from the band? Can you both tell me a little bit about yourselves?
Colby, I'll let you start.
I'm Colby Rogers, drummer and co-founder of Astyanax. Founded the band back in 2010, and it's changed in countless ways. I'm glad I've stuck with it. Having great success right now. Really excited about this new Anti-natalist album that we're about to release.
Yeah, definitely. And you, Andrew?
I am Andrew. I am the vocalist for Astyanax. That means that I make all of the awful, inhuman, gurgly, screechy, incomprehensible, atrocious sounds. Or if you just if you actually like death metal, I'm the vocalist. I do all the vocals.
Awesome. Love it. Can I ask where the name Astyanax comes from? What does it mean? Is it a reference to the NES game, if I may ask?
Well, it's actually not a reference to the NES game, but when I found out that was a game, I thought that was awesome, and
it's a great game.
I procured a copy of the game, even though I don't have the console to go with it. I have a copy of the game, but. No, it's actually a reference to Greek mythology.
Okay, yeah.
It was totally Henry Willis's idea, our original bassist and my other co-founder, and it's all about the baby Astyanax, who, it was prophesied that he would, when he grew up, he was the son of Hector of Troy, and it was prophesied that when he grew up, he would kill. Gosh, I need to brush up on this. He would kill. Do you remember, Andrew, who he was going to kill?
Not exactly. I just remember that Astyanax translates to the protector of the city or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Astyanax was going to usurp whoever was going to come over and destroy everybody, but Astyanax was going to, save them all. But instead, as a baby, they chucked him off a cliff, so he wasn't able to do that. So,
So he died. He died in his infancy. In other words.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you could say that
so
we named after a dead baby already.
There you go. Truly better never to have been.
There's one form of the story where he's chucked off a cliff, and there's another form of the story where he is used as a live human club to beat people to death. So
good.
Either way, it's brutal.
Very, very brutal. Yes, indeed. Okay, well, that fits perfectly, I think, actually. So can you tell me a little bit about the history of the band?
Started with Henry Willis and I and a guy named Canyon Lloyd, and we started as kind of like melodic death metal, and we played our first show ever at a place called Dad's Venue.
Okay.
It was like an hour and a half away. And it's just gone through countless lineup changes since then. We've gone from melodic death metal to old school death metal to the current brutal death metal. And we've played in countless cities, and we've released one full-length album and an EP, which just recently got re-released on pathologically explicit recordings. And, but this current lineup that's been together since 2017 is definitely my strongest lineup of musicians to work with. Andrew does awesome. Our guitarists are awesome, and I'm just very happy about that I stuck with it for 10 years. So
yeah, fuck you, Enco. You suck on the bass.
Yeah, no, I love our bass player. I forget he exists because he just broke his finger like a month ago. He hasn't been able to do anything.
Shit. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, no, you guys sound amazing. The albums sound amazing. So yeah, it's always it's amazing when you do stick with these projects and they do come to some like fruition. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah,
so I hear you on that. So let me ask you: are you both anti-natalists? And if so, why are each of you anti-natalists?
I'll let you start that one, Andrew.
Well, I don't think I'm like a stark 100% anti-natalist. Like I don't I'm not going to go out of my way to like shame people for reproducing. I don't know if like I would ever go that far on any spectrum, but like for me is like if we were talking about it as like a personal philosophy, then I think that at least for me, I don't know that having children's a good idea. Yeah, it's kind of a weird subject because like I don't know, I'm at a loss for words. I'm really bad at interviews. Colby, if you want to cut in and
I mean it just started. The band started with this philosophy because we were just trying to be edgy.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's a good subject for that.
Dead babies. Can't go wrong with dead babies in death metal. But I mean, if you want, my personal philosophy, I don't like babies. I don't think they're cute. I don't want to see pictures of your baby, and I don't care. I don't care about your baby. So, I'm kind of anti-baby,
Okay.
I'd much rather have a pet than a baby.
Sure.
And the world is already overpopulated as is. So why keep reproducing at such a ridiculous rate? We're just gonna usurp all of our planet's resources, So and life sucks, so why bring more people into it? I'm going bleak there, but why bring more people into this terrible existence? I mean, look what we're going through as a world right now.
Right.
That's my take on it.
Okay, fair enough. Yep. How did you first become interested in the subject of antinatalism? Like, how did you first hear about it?
I first heard of that term from Andrew.
I tend to be the first person in a room who ever brings up the idea of antinatalism.
Okay.
So that doesn't surprise me. So a while back, I think it was in Thailand or Nepal. Someone in the comment section can fucking quote me or correct me, but there was a super huge movement, like just this wave of like huge propaganda campaigns, like grassroots of like what they at the time were calling like anti-natalist extremism. They're like that, which is kind of where the name of the album comes from, because that's the first time I ever heard the word anti-natalist. Was when they were talking about this movement of anti-natalist extremists or something to that nature, where there were just like huge like waves of posts on like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or something like that, and like posters being posted around IRL. Now that part I'm not entirely sure about.
Okay.
I don't want to say something wrong on the internet. I know how that goes.
Yeah,
like, there was a huge movement where they were based, a whole bunch of people just like in mass just like agreed with Colby just now, and we're like, hey, you know what, this place does suck, we should stop doing that. And there was this huge scare, and I think it turned out to be like 4 guys.
Okay. So I'm sorry, that was in Nepal, you said, or Thailand?
Honestly, I hope I don't offend anyone if I
No worries.
I honestly don't remember where it was from, but I remember it was from, I don't know why those two countries come up, but I want to say it was one of those two.
And I'm sorry, and you were there at the time witnessing this?
No. I was
okay.
I was a freshman in high school.
Okay. I misunderstood.
I was big chilling at home. I just heard about this on the internet. I'm not that cool.
I was about to say, like, I didn't know you guys had done a Nepal tour already. I was like,
oh my
wow.
God. No, not yet. But they do love us in Indonesia. Although it might have been,
okay.
I don't remember, man.
It may have been India that you're thinking of, if it was in the last year or so. But I
no,
don't know.
This
was quite a while ago.
This was
wow. Okay. I got to research this, because this is a very interesting piece of information you're bringing up. I had no idea about this.
Because that was the very first I had ever heard of it.
Okay. Fascinating.
But I don't remember where it originated.
Well, that's okay, but yeah, that gives me a good lead, so I'm going to have to do some research on this. Awesome. So, I mean, do either of you have any familiarity with, like, the larger antinatalist world, that exists kind of currently, like, such as the books around the subject, YouTube videos, the whole, like, social media world around it? Within the last couple of years, it's really, like, it's kind of gained some traction. It's, been in the news a lot more. So do you guys have any familiarity with sort of like what's been happening around it recently?
I can't say I do. I was just made aware of the term when Andrew decided to tell us, hey, this is what we're calling the album.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, ooh, that sounds cool, but
yeah.
I'm certainly interested.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, well that kind of puts you guys in a unique situation of understanding it, and I love that you're already like creating work around it.
Well, to be fair, I've done a lot more research than Colby, and by more I mean I've heard of it before.
Sure.
And while I haven't read a book since To Kill a Mockingbird,
yeah.
I've watched oh my God, what was it? I've watched a couple of, on YouTube, there's a channel, Cosmic Skeptic, and I've watched I've watched a couple of I think I've watched sorry. I have watched like a lot of his videos at this point.
Sweet. Yeah.
But like I have seen his interview with the professor from that one place.
David Benatar. Yeah.
That guy. Yeah. See, I'm terrible with names and
No, you're fine.
So
yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So that's great. Okay. So before we talk a little bit about your albums, I mean, I'm very curious to ask you guys a little bit more about your thoughts in regards to the subject of antinatalism as, artistic subject matter, and also the combining of antinatalism with death metal themes, as you guys do so well. So I've always believed antinatalism has this big future as a new subject matter in heavy metal, in darker arts of all kinds, art in general, really. And I've seen evidence of that, as the years have progressed. Because antinatalism really is still this very unexplored subject matter for artists, and creatively, it is hugely inspiring for all kinds of reasons, I think. We're not creating kids, but we're creating a lot of good shit, a lot of good art. So multi-part question. Do you guys have any thoughts about antinatalism's future as a, future source of artistic inspiration for people? And what was it about antinatalism that caused Astyanax to, respond to it creatively? Like, Andrew, what about the subject, really made you want to make, like, call the album Extreme Antinatalist Design and work with it in that kind of way?
Okay, so first off, antinatalist extremism is like the most brutal concept I can think of.
Okay.
Like not to glorify any sort of philosophical extremism where you're going to go out and like, blow up a nursery because you don't want children, but like as a death metal concept, it doesn't get much better than that. Like
Okay,
it's all built in, you know, the music is extreme, the subject matter is obviously extremes. It's obviously not commonplace. You're not going to be sitting around the dinner table you know, hey grandma, about this whole situation, do you regret creating a longer bloodline?
Right.
Like, you're not gonna ask your grandma that at the Thanksgiving table in a couple of weeks here. So it just fits in, you know, death metal. It's not a I don't want to say it's a gatekeepy genre, although it is, but there's a barrier to entry. You have to be willing to submerge yourself in the goo and gore.
Yeah.
And that just like falls right in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I hope I made any semblance of sense just now.
No. I mean, I think like, for me anyway, like black metal, death metal, it's a very necessary cathartic tool, you know, to deal with like the horrors of the world. And antinatalism is, in another way, is a way to deal with the horrors of the world as an ethical stance of like saying no more. So I mean, they're strange bedfellows in a sense. But I do think they are sort of peanut butter and jelly, you know, like darker art forms, you know, of various kinds in antinatalism. I think that's kind of what you're saying a little bit, but well, that's my impression of it anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it was always kind of there embedded in our band, like unintentionally. It was always kind of a motif and a theme. And then when Andrew brought that term and that title up to the band, it was like it gave it a name. It gave it a concrete. Gave us a concrete theme. And like you said, to use for inspiration for the future. I feel like it's something that was always unintentionally woven in, but now it can be intentionally woven into our future albums. It can always be the foundation of our themology.
Yeah, it was kind of the logical conclusion, honestly. Like, what's more dead than a dead baby? Well, a dead baby that was never born. So, you know, it's just more death per death.
Okay, I see. Right. Yeah, I kind of have a question for this later on, but yeah, I mean, in Embalmed with Afterbirth, your original album, like there are all these themes of procreation already. So I do definitely see it's a logical progression to get to antinatalism from there. Certainly. Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, your music and death metal in general really deals in some very gory, graphic, violent themes. And let me just be very clear at this point. I grew up completely obsessed with death metal and black metal and disturbing art and cinema of all kinds. And I myself am an artist, so I've made some pretty gross, nasty stuff in my own right over the years. So for me personally, like the themes in your music and your imagery don't shock someone like me very much at all. However, antinatalism is an ethical, philosophical position. It's a philosophy about not bringing more suffering into the world by not procreating. So combining antinatalism with some of these themes that you guys are is, going to be pretty controversial among antinatalists. I mean, even combining the philosophy with images of skulls and snakes, like the logo of this very podcast does, is kind of looked down on by a lot of antinatalists. Like they don't like it very much. So what is your reaction to that kind of controversy that you may encounter about using antinatalism in this manner? Is it something you guys were concerned about at all when you decided to use antinatalism as a theme?
No, but if you message us some dumb shit, we'll put you on a shirt and sell you to the internet.
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah. I do want to talk a little bit about your merch later on, but yeah.
Like if someone has a problem. Oh, go ahead, Colby.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just along the same lines of what he was saying. Yeah, we're not going to shrink away from any controversy. It's kind of, it's kind of the death metal thing to push the boundaries as much as possible. And if pushing some boundaries against the anti-natalism community, although it's unintentional, that's not really gonna affect us or stop us. And it's interesting to even hear you say that, because I would have never thought of it that way. It seems like, it makes it seem like, so basically their philosophy, they believe that, and I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying the way I'm understanding it. They believe that antinatalism is a positive philosophy that will lessen the suffering in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, if we make it seem negative in any way, that ruffles their feathers. So I find that interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah. It's a philosophy that recommends people stop having kids, that we go extinct. Now that can extend to not just human beings, but to animal life as well. And sometimes that's called ethylism. So it's an extinctionist philosophy, and it's definitely, again, I think it fits into concepts or tools such as black metal, death metal, because it does have these darker themes. But yeah, ultimately it's this means of ending the suffering in the world. So a lot of ways of using it, like baby hate and everything, is sort of would be seen as sort of a misuse of it. But at the same time, I mean, art is going to do what it's going to do, and people have a right to use it in the ways that they wish. And certainly from a death metal perspective, I mean, you can't help but use those themes. So I mean, I completely understand that.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up baby hate specifically. I don't know if this is gonna like step on any toes for any questions you had in the future.
Oh, go ahead.
We have pretty much most of our album like written already, and we're just in the process of finishing recording it.
Mm-hmm.
So we already have all of the other songs. And
sweet.
For the anti-natalist portion of the album, you can call it, I guess. Because the album's going to be 10 songs, and I mean, I had other things to say other than anti-natalist related argument things. Yeah. Not even arguments, and I guess that's where I'm going with it, is because I'm not making an argument at this album.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
When I write a song about the extreme anti-natalist design, that's the closest thing you can get to an argument from the album. And I guess it's just laying out in an extreme form what the philosophy is. I'm trying not to be too vague, but without like pointing to the lyrics, being like,
I don't want you to give too much away, of course.
I don't want to bore you, because I could go over this album for the next 4 hours, but
Well, I have a question about this later on, but I mean, are the lyrics available anywhere? Like, I was trying to find them for Embalmed with Afterbirth, and I couldn't find them anywhere.
They should have been, but now we actually have physical albums with lyrical inserts.
Oh, good.
And I feel like we can retroactively, after this video, Colby, go fix that. We should go fix that, Colby.
Yeah, I'd like to read them. Definitely, it'd be good to have them somewhere.
Yeah, we just had that. It just got re-released under our new record label, and one of the cool additions was a lyric book. Our first. Because previously we did it ourselves, and the lyric books were just really expensive, and we're broke.
Yeah.
But now the record label took care of that. So if you get that on our merch store, you can see all of our lyrics for that album and our 2015 EP.
Okay.
And I feel like there's a website called, I think it's called darklyrics.com, where most metal lyrics are put, and I feel like we might be on there, but I'm gonna double check that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit about Embalmed with Afterbirth, your first album. So anyway, I really enjoyed it. I've listened to it a number of times now. I hope this is in no way an offensive comparison, but was this album, in particular the cover art, a little bit of a love letter to Cannibal Corpse's Butchered at Birth? I mean, I couldn't help but
I feel like anything in that style these days really is kind of a love letter to Cannibal Corpse. I feel like they kind of set the archetype for the truly brutal, gory album art, and Butchered at Birth is a good comparison. But I would be remiss in not shouting out to our artist who did this. He did this, and he did the art for the new album. He's Rudy, goes by on Facebook Rudy Gorging Suicide.
Okay.
Gorging Suicide Art. Okay. Swear to God, if anybody has better album art on their albums, it was done by Rudy. He is a phenomenal artist, and we gave him like 4 details for the album art for the first album. Like we were like, we wanted this, and this.
Yeah.
And then he took that idea and turned it up to 11. The man is a genius.
Yeah, it's really, really fantastic stuff. I'll have to link to him when I post this.
Oh, please do.
Episode.
He's done our album art for Embalmed with Afterbirth and Extreme Antinatalist Design. So.
Sweet. Did he also do the animation that was in the new single?
No, that was I guess an in-house guy from Pathologically Explicit.
Okay.
Our new label. Woo.
Yeah.
Who they picked us up and are
congratulations
gonna be putting out our album. Yeah, they sent us merch and everything, the shorts.
yes.
Yeah. I first I respect Rudy real quick. I think he's the best in the game. But it was an in-house guy, like Andrew said, and I loved that animation. It
was fantastic. Yeah, I love that.
An awesome little surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautifully done. So what can you tell me about the creation of this album, Embalmed with Afterbirth? How did this album come about?
Well, it has a couple of tracks that were written by an old lineup, the 2015 lineup. So I just thought those tracks were really exceptional, and I wanted a little bit of a remnant of the past. And so it was like the past Astyanax mixed with the current Astyanax, and the rest of the songs are written pretty much half and half by Josh Gregrich, our former guitarist, now bassist, and Jacob Marshall.
Okay.
And, there's definitely a lot of baby hate and anti-natalist themes in there. You got Involved with Afterbirth. You have LSD, Lunatics, Savage Delight, but which that doesn't scream baby hate or anything, but it's actually about a funny story. I think it's a fake story, but it was a cool story.
It was definitely a fake story.
Okay. We had to use this story where these grandmas got on LSD and they cooked their granddaughter or something like that.
Oh my God! Okay.
So we have themes like that throughout, and it's just and it was recorded by Irving Lopez, and he did a great job for us. And it was, that was released in 2018. So the band had been established for 8 years, but that was our first full length. So after 8 years, it was so freaking good to finally get a full album out.
Yeah.
And it was a big success. It was a huge success, that album.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, deservingly so. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I've asked you guys all the questions about. I think I already asked about the other questions I had planned for the original album. So, so I'm very grateful to learn more about it. So let's talk a little bit about Extreme Antinatalist Design. Can you tell me the name of the new song? I'm so sorry, I just don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Is it
okay? It's pronounced, and I know that, like, I'm pretty sure nobody will ever get this unless I say it. It's CRUCIFYSTERECTOMY.
CRUCIFYSTERECTOMY.
So you take the word hysterectomy, which is removal of part of or all of the uterus. Uterus,
right? The uterus, where the universe comes from.
God, what are we, Fallujah? Sorry, that was a dorky prog reference. Anyway, so you take the removal of the uterus and then jam it with the word crucifix.
There you go.
Okay, all right. That's the whole bit. That's it.
Okay. Awesome. All right. I'm glad to know how to say it now. Although I'll probably say it wrong. Continuing, but yeah. So I mean, what can you guys have talked a little bit about the album already, but what can you tell me about what a little bit more about it so far? When is it expected to be released? It's very exciting to hear the progress on it is going well.
Good question. I'm actually going into the studio today.
Okay.
Yep, we're starting. He's going to start doing vocals today. We've done a good amount of the drums and the guitars. There's not a specific release date, but the goal is within this year to get it out.
Okay, great.
And we're recording with Russell Haller, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's going to make. I mean, you can hear it in Crucifysterectomy. We worked with him on that, so he's doing a fantastic job.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you talked a little bit about where the extreme antinatalist, idea comes from, but what is it about the design at the end of it? Extreme antinatalist design.
I'm glad you asked.
Okay, good.
Because I am a dork who spends a whole bunch of time on the internet.
Sweet.
And I absorb like some sort of, I don't know, idea sponge, all of the cool ideas, and then slam them all together. I also one time on the internet heard the term, oh God, and now it just escapes my brain. Hostile architecture.
Okay, yes.
Which is the idea that a building is specifically designed to be uninhabitable. I'm pretty sure I got that concept correct. It's designed to not be a house for something, if it's like hostile architecture, as far as I am aware, is like the things that they use for like getting homeless people out from under the bridge. They put the spikes that come up on the benches so that they don't sleep on them at night.
Right. Yeah.
Or them putting spikes on the top of signs so that birds don't lay nests on them.
Right.
That sort of thing is like hostile architecture. And so if you just take that to the extreme, we make the most hostile structure and just make it an anti-life monument, both physically and in metaphor.
Well, it's kind of the world we build by procreating, right?
Yeah, it's the argument of, why would you put a baby in a burning house? Like, why would you rescue a baby into a burning house? Well, why would you bring a new life that's just going to be assimilated into this hostile, pain-ridden, writhing? It all makes more sense in the lyrical context, but that video hasn't been made yet.
Okay. Are there more singles that are expected to come out from the album?
Colby, should we decide that now?
Well, okay. I can tell you that we will most certainly be doing a music video for this album. We have not decided what song. Yeah. And I don't know if that'll probably be after the actual album, but definitely a music video.
Okay, sweet. Is there a bit of like a narrative going on in part of the album? Like I got from a sense from the lyrics that there's like, it's kind of a story of some particular killer kind of like on a mission, even like a religious mission of some sort. Is that correct at all? Or am I reading like way too much into the lyrics?
No, each song is its own contained little bit. Like they're anthological. It's not like a concept album, but each there's gonna be 3 parts to the album, and the first part and the longest part is anti-natalist extremism, which is not to say like that's what it's called for an artistic purpose, but I don't mean go out and bomb an NICU. Don't do that. That's bad, children. don't commit domestic terrorism. That's my hot take.
Right.
But so there's like a concept of antinatalism, not just for we put it on the album cover and then that's the last time we talk about it. Crucifysterectomy actually falls into what I would consider an anti-natalist world view. I know that's probably going to be like, what is this guy talking about? But long story short, if you guys haven't seen the lyric video, first off, go watch it. The song is great.
Yeah,
Colby did a great job on those drums.
Yeah. Oh, the drumming is amazing. Yeah, and the vocals, of course, too. Yes.
Oh, that guy sucks.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, he was hating on himself on those vocals, and everyone else, including you just now, is telling him they sound great, man.
No, they really
thanks.
do. They sound fantastic.
Thanks.
The whole thing sounds great. Yeah.
I gotta go tell Jacob that he did a good job on the guitar again. I gotta remind him every day.
No, you guys sound really tight, really good. I mean,
anyway, tangent aside. Sorry, Colby, I didn't mean to cut you off. A tangent aside, the story for crucifysterectomy, for those of you who haven't seen it, is a woman gets pregnant outside of wedlock and then has a miscarriage, and then all these people get really mad and then take her uterus away from her because, so she can't do that anymore because as punishment for having a stillborn miscarriage, right?
Okay.
Which for some reason, some people in the comments section thought the whole song was a pro-life anthem.
I wasn't sure actually. Yeah.
Why? Like, I'm so glad to see it's pro-life. Like, no, it's not.
Well, there is some strains of Christian antinatalism, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
What?
So I wasn't sure. I was like, I might find out that they're a Christian Christian death metal band. I don't know.
Oh,
I have so many questions now.
I'll send you some links. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry. I keep.
No, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
But
yeah.
No, you're fine. The point I was trying to make is that I feel like crucifysterectomy as a concept, the from their side, the group of people who've removed the uterus are in at least, they can't be 0% anti-natalist because they're like,
right,
you shouldn't have children. Well, the reason they think you shouldn't have children in the context here is because you're not married. And because you're not married, you had a stillbirth, which means you're tainted. So we have to, we've tainted his holy garden to a grave. They said it in the song, the Garden of Eden. And now your fruits lay rotten and barren. So we're going to uproot the field.
Okay.
I'm really bad at explaining.
No, I get what you're saying. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, fascinating. Where do we go from there? So yeah. Okay. Very cool. So I'm glad to have some insight into that. So it's all okay. So I'm really excited to see the 3-part structure that you have to the album, and I'm just really excited to see the album. I know we're sort of on a time crunch. I know you got to go, Colby. But before we go, I just want to say, this is truly my favorite piece of antinatalist merch that I've ever seen. Congratulations, you've created the first antinatalist pants. So shorts of any kind. So my fat ass can't fit into them, but I love them. So amazing. But yeah, so obviously coronavirus has destroyed, most opportunities, if not all opportunities, to perform live. But do you plan on touring with Extreme Antinatalist Design when it comes time?
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's hard to answer it right now because of the uncertainty as to the length of time that live performances will be affected. But that's almost certainly a goal. It's certainly a goal.
Yeah.
We want to do that. We've played a lot of out-of-town shows. We've done little mini tours. We haven't been able to do a full tour yet, and now that we have a record label backing us, we're hoping that we can do things like that and maybe even someday go overseas and play over there.
That would be amazing. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that ends up being possible. If you do, definitely come to Chicago, because I'd love to see you guys live. And
we will. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all the questions that I had, planned for today. I mean, I really want to thank both of you so much for coming on Exploring Antinatalism and speaking about your music and what you guys do. Very much looking forward to Extreme Antinatalist Design. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say before we close out?
Just thanks for having us on. This was a cool and unique opportunity. Thanks for buying the merch and supporting the band. And
totally.
If anyone out there wants to buy our merch, we have a Big Cartel merch store. Just search Astyanax Big Cartel and grab some Anti-natalist merch.
Get the shorts.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you too can own the world's first pair of anti-natalist loons.
I love it. All right, well, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. So thanks so much.
Thanks. This has been awesome. Good luck with your future endeavors.
You as well.
Everybody out there, stay safe. I know the weather's getting kind of crazy now.
Yeah.
At least in Texas. Oh boy, it's like the sky fell out yesterday, and then the sun was shining, and then it was 9 o'clock because I don't know what's going on anymore.
It's pretty much terrifying everywhere right now. It's a horrible time to be alive.
Yeah, burning buildings and all that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, thanks so much, you guys. Please visit Astyanax on Facebook, Instagram, and Bandcamp, and check out their merch on Big Cartel. Links in the description. Thank you for listening to the Exploring Antinatalism Podcast. Once again, this has been Old Fan. You can find me at Forever Wolf Films on YouTube, as well as keep up with my daily anti-natalist news updates at Antinatal News on Twitter. Please follow the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and email me at exploringantinatalism@gmail.com. The podcast can be listened to on our YouTube channel, Exploring Antinatalism Podcast, as well as Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. And proudly announcing, the official website for the Exploring Antinatalism Podcast is up, and it is gorgeous. www.exploringantinatalism.com. Designed by the amazing Visions Noirs. Please visit Visions Noirs at www.bionoir.com and check out more of his links below. Podcast artwork donated by the incredible LifeSucks. If you would perhaps like to purchase one of the new Exploring Antinatalism t-shirts by LifeSucks, please visit his Etsy page at www.etsy.com/shop/LifeSucksPublishing. All the best, and bye for now.